Hello, bonjour, goedemiddag. This is the Trini-Dutchman. I hope that you're having an absolutely wonderful Thursday. Today's vlog, I'm going to talk to you about the differences between and similarities between the cities of Montreal and Seattle. Now, I just came back from Seattle, an absolutely beautiful city on the West Coast, and I really enjoyed my experience. I just wanted to talk about how Montreal, as my favorite Canadian city, and Seattle stack up against each other. Both are port cities, so that's the first thing to mention. Montreal is a major port city here in Eastern Canada. It's 1,500 kilometers from the Atlantic Ocean, but the St. Lawrence Seaway brings you right in, and it takes off right into Montreal, and there is the Port of Montreal. Seattle on the west coast, of course, is a big port as well for shipments coming in from Asia. Another similarity between both cities, they're both about 4 million people. Both are headquarters to in the Seattle region and the Montreal region have a major aviation presence. Of course, in Seattle, it is Bombardier, and in Montreal, I'm flipping this up here. Boeing in Seattle, sorry about that, and Bombardier in Montreal. Another similarity is they're both very artsy cities. I noticed immediately when I was in Seattle, it seemed like to be a city that supported the arts. And Montreal is very much a bohemian city. Now, some of the stark differences, Montreal is a lot more affordable than Seattle. I was in an Uber when I was in Seattle when I arrived, and the really nice Uber driver was telling me that an apartment in downtown Seattle, a one-bedroom apartment, can easily run you $3,000 US. So that's absolutely insane. I know in Montreal, a buddy of mine was living in a one-bedroom apartment. I think he's paying like $600 Canadian or something. Now, it wasn't the nicest neighborhood, but it was great. I loved it. I loved going in there and visiting him and crashing on his couch. That's some of the similarities and some of the differences. Both are very walkable cities. I will say that I feel much safer in Montreal than I do in Seattle, especially late at night. I went out with a friend one time. We were out till like 4 o'clock in the morning on a weekend, and 4 o'clock in the morning on the major strips in Montreal, like St. Catherine Street, that kind of thing, completely safe. Whereas in Seattle, about 2 o'clock in the morning, I was mentioning in my previous video, you're looking for some late night pizza, and let's just say that I felt pretty scared. And I mean, I'm a big guy, right? But I was pretty intimidated. So I was scared at about 2 o'clock in the morning. Seattle shuts down at 2 in the morning, even in the touristy areas. But if you go out on a weeknight in Montreal, even after bars, nightclubs, everything are closed at 3. There's always something to do. Even 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. 5 o'clock in the morning is, I think, when kind of things start to shut down in Montreal, well after nightclubs and the such are closed. Getting between the two cities, Air Canada, as far as I know, offers a direct flight from Montreal to the SeaTac, so from Montreal Trudeau Airport to SeaTac if you're interested. The other options, of course, and this is what I did, is I went Montreal to Vancouver, and then great service with Flixbus Airlines, Flix Bus. $29 or something like that can take you to Seattle, and you're at the University of Washington from downtown Vancouver in about 4 hours. That's definitely something to check out. What are your thoughts? Do you prefer Montreal? Do you prefer Seattle? Have you been to both? If you have any questions or even tips for me about the cities, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to chat with you. And if you want to support me and support my channel, I want to talk to you more about my experiences and help you out. Please check out my photos. If you want to buy one of my prints, they start at $50 US. Would really help me out with being able to provide you with this kind of content. If you can't afford my prints, I do want to say that I'm happy to always give back to others. So many people have helped me out, and I want to just give back. So if there is a print of Seattle or of Montreal and you want the photo, I'd be happy to send you the photo at no charge, or if you want me to send you a copy, just we'll work something out. Just pay what you can, okay? So feel free to write me in English, en français of in het Nederlands, and I look forward to connecting with you. Bisous, bisous, and fijne dag.